Welcome back to another year of MLB The Show franchise. MLB 23's franchise team is going to be the Cincinnati Reds. It is a very interesting team. Now, there is not a whole lot of talent right now, but there are some really encouraging pieces. Like, for example, the Reds' fourth highest paid player on the payroll, and that's Ken Griffey Jr., by the way. Yeah, very fun. Baseball contracts are the best. Mike Moustakas is also getting paid at that top group. He's not on the team. The only Reds players making more than Griffey actively right now are Will Myers, who's a new addition, and, of course, longtime Red, but not going to be a big part of this franchise probably, Joey Votto. And as spring training is over, we are going to start from the regular season and go over this team for the first time. And there are, as I mentioned, a number of encouraging pieces as I'll try to locate roster. We'll start and go position by position. Hunter Greene and Nick Lodolo, those are the guys. Lodolo reportedly, or supposedly, according to certain Mets players, is the nastiest pitcher they saw in all of 2022, which is pretty unbelievable for just, I don't want to say kind of an unknown, because to Reds fans, you know who Nick Lodolo is. He's a top prospect. He's someone that you really have high hopes for. But for the majority of the league, they probably don't know who Nick Lodolo is, but he is potentially a future ace on this team, even though Hunter Greene gets a lot of the love, and he should. He's a pitcher who comes out and throws 101 every single pitch pretty much. I think he set the record for most consecutive pitches or fastballs above 100 miles per hour, something along those lines. Point being, he throws gas. And while in online MLB The Show, a 3-pitch mix, not so great, in MLB The Show franchise, I don't think it's going to matter too much, at least negatively. This is a franchise I might stream occasionally, by the way, but it still always will be uploaded to YouTube. You won't miss anything. And that link should be down in the description, twitch.tv/Bengal. I mainly stream online, but of course, this is not an online franchise, as that doesn't exist in MLB The Show. Great stuff. Graham Ashcraft is someone that we might be able to develop a little bit. Only 25 years old, which in baseball is not super old. You know, you see a lot of young players, rookies around 25 years old, and there are some rare ones that are younger, but mostly that's not super unusual. So hopefully we can develop him a little bit. Only see potential, so I'm not really sure, but throws gas. Cutter sinker at 95 plus, and then slider and circle change. Kind of a nice mix. And then other than that, it's just guys who are here now that probably won't be for me. We'll try to upgrade on Luke Weaver and Yankee legend Luis Sessa. And there are some decent prospects down here in the minors. And the big way to tell that is sorting by potential. And you'll see like Andrew Abbott potentially could be a good player for us. Justin Dunn is someone who's been around for a little while now. I believe was in the Mariners organization, but of course is now a Red. And we'll talk about more of these prospects coming up because the Reds made a huge move when they sent Luis Castillo to Seattle last year. Got a bunch of really good prospects back in return. Bullpen, currently, you know, we see Lucas Sims here, who's fine. TJ Antone, who when healthy is very, very good. Buck Farmer is going to be good enough to play on the team right now, but again, overall, a lot of players we need to improve upon. And then the brother of Edwin Diaz, Alexis, who is pretty awesome. Throws gas as well. You know, I saw him face the Yankees last year. I didn't even know who he was up to that point. And just came out and was very, very surprisingly good. And he had a fantastic season last year as well. Hunter Strickland's also in here. He's probably going to end up making his way into our bullpen. And then to the offense, got Tyler Stevenson. Great young option. 26 years old, a potential. In the game, has all the tools to become one of the better catchers in the league. The power is in a decent spot, but the contact is honestly in a phenomenal spot, especially for a catcher. This is a position where it's really, really tough to find offense there. So getting close to 90, and in offline, it only goes up to 99. There is no 100 plus in offline. So that is really, really, really good. It has a good arm, maybe leaves a little bit to be desired defensively other than that, but that's okay. Kurt Casale is a good backup catcher. A little bit of pop in there as well. First base, we know about Joey Votto, but he's 39 years old. What can we really do with Joey Votto other than have him retire as a Red? I think that's pretty much it. Am I going to trade Joey Votto? It just doesn't feel right. And, you know, when he's healthy, he he still could be a very good hitter. Obviously, one of the more disciplined hitters in the game. He can draw a walk for us, so we'll see how that works out with me at the controls. Jonathan India really took a step back in 2022 based on expectations of the previous season. Had a fantastic rookie year. Just wasn't quite what you'd expect in 2022, but 2023 had a decent opening day, and we're hoping that will obviously shine through in the franchise series as well. Decent contact. Fielding leaves a bit to be desired, but listen, chicks dig the long ball. We're trying to hit home runs. We're trying to hit fielding is secondary. I'm just going to be honest. Chad Pinder also exists. Some good power. Real good platoon type player / rotational guy that maybe we'll throw out there. Maybe there's an injury. But the guy I am most excited about is top prospect Elly De La Cruz. Switch hitting monster out of the Dominican Republic. Lighting up double and then triple A. Probably will debut for the Reds at some point in 2023. And he may even start for me here in this franchise. But you're talking about a guy that's only 21 years old, that is a phenomenal athlete with a hit tool that is honestly not being represented well enough in this game. He's only 21. We're probably going to start him at the minors, which means bringing Jason Vosler up, who plays for the Reds in real life, had a triple yesterday. Spencer Steer, who had a home run yesterday, probably will end up starting. Former Twins prospect. Christian Encarnacion Strand is someone that people are excited about in real life. Same thing with Cam Collier. We're pretty deep at third base right now, even though Elly could potentially play a bunch of middle infield spots as well, like, shortstop, second base. That's kind of the end of the list. I'm not excited about Kevin Newman. I'm just not. He's pretty boring. But the big one is Noelvi Marte. Potential, I think, could be in the A's here. Noelvi Marte was a huge piece that the Mariners got, or that the Mariners did get and then traded over to the Reds in Luis Castillo trade. He has big-time potential. Only 21 years old. As you can see, speed, defense in a pretty good spot. I want to develop him more in the minors. So a lot of these guys that are listed as MLB players are going to be sent down. They're just not ready to play for me just yet. In the outfield, we got Jake Fraley. Good numbers against righties. TJ Friedl is a guy that exists. Stuart Fairchild. Nick Solak. Kind of been disappointing so far in the MLB, I would say. And same thing with Nick Senzel. I honestly couldn't tell you the difference between either of these. Senzel's a little bit faster. Solak maybe a little bit better of a hitter. Both former top prospects. Senzel was considered higher. I think he was a third base prospect, to be honest, who has a ton of positional flexibility. So that's his value. Other than that, we have to improve for sure. And then Will Myers, big pickup. One of the best players on the team, which isn't saying a whole lot right now. We'll look to develop Austin Hendrick, one of their top prospects in real life. Other than that, a lot of these guys have C potential. I don't know what they're going to end up being in the MLB, but we got to look to develop our pitching and see what these hitters can do. It's really going to rely on some of these guys developing. Cam Collier is considered pretty highly in the organization, and someone I actually like quite a bit from what I've seen and some of the box score scouting is Edwin Arroyo. Another awesome prospect, switch hitter, 19 years old. Just in game, he is not that good. I don't know how long it's going to take for some of these hitting tools to develop, because I think Edwin Arroyo could end up being an amazing player. Only 19 years old, switch hitter, has lit up the minors early on. If he's someone that we can actually develop, he's going to be phenomenal for us. Picture an infield that has Edwin Arroyo probably at second base. Elly De La Cruz can stick at third. And then we'll have Noelvi Marte at shortstop. We'll look to get a better first baseman. Maybe that ends up being Cam Collier. Maybe he sticks at third, doesn't have first base currently, but where else do you play him? Elly De La Cruz could potentially move, as we've talked about. But there are only so many spots for these guys. Maybe some of them end up getting traded. Got Jonathan India. I completely glossed over him, but we have a lot of good players trying to develop them more. But in order to do so, it's gonna have to start with moving them down to the minors. Elly De La Cruz is not on the big league team as I record this. Things could change. We unfortunately have to waste an option by moving him down. Spencer Steer is good. We're going to go ahead and call Jason Vosler up after adding him to the 40-man roster, but it's full, so I have to take somebody off it, which is going to go ahead and send them through waivers. It's a whole process in this game, which is just baseball, I guess. And I don't need Fernando Cruz. Why this guy would be on the 40-man for me, I have no idea. He's a 33-year-old in Double-A. See you later. I've called Will Benson up because he's actually on the team in real life. What a monster of a man, by the way. His 6'5" looks about 6'10" on a baseball field. It's insane. Now, somehow Jose Barrero starts for the Reds in real life. That can't happen. Can't happen. I don't know that he's going to play at single A for me, but I'd rather have Richie Martin come up. I know Barrero's on the actual team. I can't do it. Although... Nah, I mean, Richie Martin's not even much better. Jose Barrero is just going to come up and just not be good. But that's what he does anyway. I also have 4 left fielders with the team. I'm probably going to move one of these guys over to center. And it's probably going to be Stuart Fairchild. He's actually the new highest overall center fielder that we have. So he might play over Nick Senzel. We're going to have to get creative with this. And then Nick Solak, honestly, TJ Friedel. I probably prefer. I don't know what we do with Nick Solak. I'm going to use one of his options here. He's going to go play in AAA. I'm not excited about him. I don't know what to tell you. I can't remember if players at single A develop at all. From my memory last year, I don't think they do. Okay, I called Mr. Franchise in MLB, the Ant Ortiz. You can check out his channel. The Ant Ortiz does MLB The Show as well, or really, he does MLB The Show. I am more dabbling in it, as you guys may know. Hope this will be a nice long series for you, though. But this is the team. You guys have seen it. I had to use options, but guys at single A do develop. For some reason, I thought that they didn't. Maybe they didn't historically, but they do at least this year. And I know it seems like, why would they not develop at single A? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm just telling you that for sure in Pirates franchise, guys at single A didn't do anything. But I'm hoping Edwin Arroyo can do some stuff. I've moved some things around. I know there's so many different things to manage in this. So there are lineups at every level. You can flick with the right stick to change. But like obviously I want Ellie De La Cruz and Noelvi Marte playing every day so that they can actually develop. But it is a struggle to get everything going. And with these lineups here for AAA, I'm pretty much just going to make sure Noelvi Marte and Ellie De La Cruz are at the top in every single one of these. Because they were not, and I mean, they simply just have to be. At Double-A, I feel like everything is pretty much fine. I'm not really itching to work any of these guys into the lineup. Like maybe Ashton Creel, just because he's 23. But none of these guys are particularly good. Andrew Abbott's a pitcher, so not going to factor in. Rotation seems good enough. I mean, a lot of my top pitching prospects are already there. Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo. So it's really just about, Brandon Williamson a little bit. Justin Dunn, who knows if he's going to be anything. He probably ends up getting called up at some point for me. And then Andrew Abbott. Like, yeah, there are some other potential pieces, but I really can't get excited about too many in here. But you know what makes a Reds franchise interesting? Is the other teams within the division. It's kind of wide open. The Brewers are really not all that great. Like, yes, they have some really big pieces. It starts with a rotation, Devin Williams out of the bullpen. But Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, when he can actually feel the baseball. He had a condition, I think it was Raynaud's, however you pronounce that, in his fingers. He couldn't feel the ball. And then he got it treated and was, again, dominant like the second half of the year. But Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta, it's a really, really good trio. One of the best in baseball. And then you have Devin Williams. But as far as actual hitting threats go, you don't really have many. Willy Adames, William Contreras, Rowdy Tellez, maybe Luis Urias, and depending on what Christian Yelich does, because he could just end up being amazing again. Like, I wouldn't discount that. Luke Voigt could get called up too. Tyler Naquin. Keston got cut in real life. But overall, they're not so good that this cannot be overcome. We know about the Pirates. The Pirates are not good at all. Maybe down the line, and obviously it'll depend on how certain players develop, like O'Neal Cruz, like Key Brian Hayes. I did a Pirates franchise last year. You guys may or may not remember it, Roansy Contreras. Some of these guys just never developed. Contreras was one of them. I had such high hopes. I think he's a beast in real life. Never really developed. Mitch Keller, opening day starter. Like, it just depends on how these guys develop. Because they do have some talent here, but a lot of it is, buried down here in the minors. Henry Davis is a prime example of that. Yankee legend Miguel Andujar. course, Nick Gonzalez, we'll see how he develops. Tucupita Marcano, who they got from the Padres. But this is a team that we are very, very capable of beating. And then you go to the Cardinals, who appear to be the real juggernaut of the division. The Cubs are a question mark. We'll get back to them. But yes, the Cardinals are great. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, MVP candidates. Ryan Helsley, despite what he did on opening day, one of the better relief pitchers in baseball. Tommy Edman, one of the better utility players, if not the best right now. He's like a modern-day Ben Zobrist, all the way down to switch hitting. Wilson Contreras, great pickup for them, potentially. I know he got injured on opening day. Tyler O'Neill, who's homered in 4 consecutive opening days. What a ridiculous stat. Yankee legend Jordan Montgomery, Yankee legend Giovanni Gallegos. Got Lars Nootbaar, who's now a Japanese fan favorite. This team is loaded. If you had to find a flaw, it's with the pitching, but a healthy Jack Flaherty is a problem. And then they have some good prospects. Tink Hence is a real big one. I actually picked him up in my Dynasty Fantasy League. I'm really thinking in advance with that one. But some big hitters too. And I would say their big storyline is going to be with Jordan Walker. Called up. He's made his MLB debut. He had an RBI. I think he collected his first big league hit as well. Although maybe not. His RBI was not a hit. It was nearly a double play. But I want to say he floated one up the middle. Can't be certain, but this guy can really, really hit. He's going to be 21 in a short amount of time, but he can hit. Not well represented in game, but he can really, really hit. I know it looks different for prospects, but when do you expect a guy to really show top-tier hitting numbers when he has 47 and 53 contact and 58 and 55 power? It's not. When is that going to be even in the 70s? I don't know. 4 years? We'll have to see. But it's a very, very talented team. Dylan Carlson. It is a great team. The Cubs maybe are the real wild card. Have a couple of good players. Brought in Dansby Swanson. Nico Horner had a great year last year. Great defender. Marcus Stroman. Yankee legend Jameson Taillon. Seiya Suzuki, if healthy, could be a really good option for them. And then some real question marks. Patrick Wisdom strikes out a lot, but hits bombs. Christopher Morel has a hose, but is still developing and looks weird in the game. It looks nothing like him. Ian Happ, who knows if they can hold on to him. Only a 75 overall, 28, A potential. We'll have to see what Ian Happ ends up doing. And then pitching, it's just not quite there. They have some good prospects. Pete Crow Armstrong kind of leads that bunch right now. Where is their standout center fielder? I know he had a big back injury. He actually might be at the MLB roster here. Having a tough time managing this. Yeah, Brennan Davis is with the major league team in the game. Showed some really great stuff a few years ago or a couple years ago and then got injured, and we'll have to see what happens. Yankee legend Kevin Alcantara. Listen, I know everyone's a Yankee legend. I'm being facetious. But the Cubs have some pieces. Who knows if they're going to get anything out of Cody Bellinger. But they have some pieces. They got to develop some of these guys. I mean, some former first-round picks in here. Ed Howard, I know, hasn't really developed as quickly as they would like. But this team could be one to look out for. Trey Mancini, Eric Hosmer, Yan Gomes. They could be sneaky good, even though they don't look great on paper. But I would say, other than the Cardinals, we could really stick with the Brewers, Cubs, and Pirates, of course. Specifically the Pirates. But we're at kind of the bottom of the division right now. It's going to be an interesting franchise series. Hopefully you guys are interested in it as well. And I think for this first episode, opening day has already happened. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in and we're going to play the moments. But we got to set our lineup first. Probably we'll lead off Jonathan India. Tyler Stevenson in the 2 spot. Joey Votto will hit 3rd. I think that's pretty good. And then I think probably Will Myers cleanup is where we want to live. The top could change, but I think that's probably going to be my everyday 4. Then Jake Fraley, probably Spencer Steer. And then Kevin Newman, TJ Friedl, Nick Senzel. I hate to say this, but I really just don't care about them. Maybe we'll mix in a Jason Vosler. We really shouldn't have to worry about the no DH lineups anymore because universal DH. But this will probably be the team. You know what? I think in order to get some gameplay in, we are going to player lock Reds franchise legend Joey Votto. Now, Joey Votto is injured in real life, so he's not playing. Didn't play on opening day, and I know this is opening day, and it's raining, which is great. But guess what? This is not real life. This is now franchise mode. Joey Votto's healthy on my team. It's raining here. I think that's a perfect representation of this franchise currently. But the fans don't seem to care. So, I don't think that's true. But a big spot for Joey Votto already. Roansy Contreras is on the mound. We're swinging first pitch. That's not very Joey Votto-like. And we ground right into a double play. Runners were on first and second. Nobody down. And all of a sudden, there are 2 down. And score is tied at 1. Didn't exactly take advantage of that opportunity. This ball sit on the ground at short. Joey Votto, look at that catch. Wow, what a play. Get the ball back in, Hunter Green. Who's pitching not great right now. Top 3, bases juiced, 2 out, 2 strikes though. You got to get out Mark Mathias. Ball hit on the ground. Get out of it. Going to second. Wow, okay. That is a bold decision. Hunter Green out of a huge jam. Could have player locked with him, to be honest. Decided to go a different direction. As Roansy pitching fairly well, although it's not too difficult to do that against this Cincinnati Reds team. And the count goes 2-0 to Joey Votto. This is a more Joey Votto at bat. We get 2 strikes, we can choke up and just try to slap something the other way. There's 3-0. This is classic Joey Votto. And no outs too, so we're probably going to red light here. If Roansy wants to walk us, that's totally fine. We'll take first base and Will Myers can try to drive us in. That's strike 1. We were taking all the way there, obviously. So, really, no problem there. Might even take 3-1. That ball catches the corner on the black, up and away. And the count runs full to 3-2. Come on, Joey. And that is ball 4. Votto gonna walk. It's classic Joey Votto. That's honestly why I booted up the game today. Was to draw a walk with Joey Votto and then do nothing on the bases. It's 0-2 to Will Myers already. Not ideal. He is gonna put the ball in play though. I don't know where it is. Looks like a pop fly. As O'Neal Cruz underneath it. Votto will retreat back to first base. Got to find a camera that works so I can see the ball. Ball hit on the ground. Going to be a tough play for the first baseman. He goes to Cruz, back to first. Cruz throws it away. So we are out at second. Trying to figure out what was happening there. Happened also quickly. Jake Fraley, ball on the ground at G-Man Choi. Rifled it to O'Neal Cruz. Cruz with a hose. But not exactly accurate for Roansy Contreras trying to cover the first base bag. Jake Fraley advances to second on the play. But guess what? We don't get any runs. So we are down 2-1. And this ball is hit in the air. Maybe. Infield fly rule. Oh, there it is. They don't give you a good camera to work with in these player lock moments. Maybe you guys like them. I don't know where the ball is. But I do know that Tony Santillan is in the game. Hunter Green just did not have his ace stuff today, unfortunately. As we're going to field this. Get over to first, Votto. Look at the legs. Mathias grounds out right to Joey Votto. We need the bullpen to be masterful today. Like, you can't get out Kevin Plawecki. I refuse to believe that. Here we go. Plawecki gonna lay one down. And it's a beauty down the third base line. Fielded by Santillan. He throws on Votto for the out. What a play by Tony Santillan. That was a masterful bunt from Plawecki. As Contreras still is in the game. Has given up 2 runs. We are still very much in it, though, especially at Great American Ballpark. The ball absolutely flies here historically. Since its opening, no stadium has seen more home runs than Great American here, home to the Cincinnati Reds. So if we want some offense, this is the place to do it. Very favorable dimensions. This is as hitterish of a ballpark as you're going to find, not named Coors Field. And the reason why that's so hitter-friendly is not only the elevation, obviously, but because the outfield is so big. Otherwise, everything would be a home run, but that leaves a lot of space for base hits to land. Here, it's just easy to get that ball out. And Joey Votto will see another full count. Again with no outs here, top of the inning. Will Myers on deck. Pitch to hit, though, and that is fouled away. Votto trying to jump on that heater. 95 middle in. Here's the payoff pitch. Right down the middle. Early on it, Votto rolls over to Ji-Man Choi. Still looking for that first base hit of the season. And it's going to have to wait. Chase DeYoung in the game now for the Pirates. He makes that 92 look like 97. Real herky-jerky delivery here. He just kind of whips it in. I'll take another walk with Votto. Still within 2. The score is just now 5-3. Now it heads to 2-0. We've been real patient with Joey Votto outside of this first at bat. And it's only led to being on base once. Votto 0 for 2 with a walk. And that is maybe doing the pitcher a favor there. Could have been looking at 3-0. Just still a little bit out in front of these. Pitch speeds are Hall of Fame. I know I'm using strike zone camera. I could potentially change that for this series. As Votto gets into one, digs it out of the dirt, hits headed deep to center field. It's going to actually carry him off the wall. Right fielder coming over. Votto with questionable speed. Chugging for third. Cruz with a hose onto third. Not in time. Votto with a big-time triple. First hit of the season for Joey Votto is a triple. My money would not have been on that. It probably would have been the last of the options. Certainly would have been. Probably would have guessed single, then maybe home run, then double. Even though double seems more likely than a homer, I think I probably could have hit a homer before a double. Votto just barely slides safely into third, and Will Myers has an awesome opportunity. Runner waiting to score. All you really need to do, put it in play, Will. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball, running on contact, diving stop, missed by Hayes. Cruz goes on to field it and throws out Will Myers, but he will get credit for an RBI. Puts us just one run closer. You'll see Ke'Bryan Hayes come out of the side of your screen here in just a moment. Just misses, but the arm strength of O'Neal Cruz is so incredible, even if he is like a giraffe playing shortstop. We are within 1 run. Trying to hold on. Santillan as the long reliever. 35 pitches deep. They're sending him out to start the 8th. This could be disastrous, but look at Joey Votto racing to the bag, ignoring Santillan. And that is the easy out that we made look a little bit more difficult. I'm not willing to throw it away. And now it's top 9. Buck Farmer in the game. Sawinski at the plate. Has some big-time power. This ball is going to be hit right back up the middle. And no play at the plate. Pirates extend their lead. And we're going to be in a very tough situation against Pirates closer, all-star from a season ago, David Bednar. Runner on first, 1 down. But unfortunately, with some of those runs that came through, we were down 7-4. So a home run's not good enough here. We need to work, need to find a way to get on base. If we can get runners on first and second, I'm confident Will Myers is going to get out somehow, and it won't matter. I was hoping I could say something, a little bit more intriguing and uplifting and positive there, but there's nothing to be intrigued about. I mean, I'm sure Will Myers is going to ground out. He's shown us nothing today. Nothing. Ball hit on the ground. Oh, I didn't even let Will Myers get the chance. That is a ground ball double play to end it. We were on it, just smashed it right into the ground, and we fall at the hands of the Pittsburgh Pirates, which is what happened in real life. Pirates won 5-4 in real life. Here in the game, they win 7-4. Jack Sawinski, 3 for 4, 3 ribbies, 3 singles. Interesting line. Andrew McCutchen back with the Pirates, 3 for 4 with a double. And then for us, we had 5 total hits. TJ Friedel homered. Of course, the triple from Joey Votto, and Will Myers actually had a double and 2 ribbies. I was talking trash about Will Myers. I didn't do anything with Joey Votto on base. We got on base a couple of times, so not ideal. But that is going to do it for episode 1 of Reds Franchise. Hopefully we find this find a way to make this a super exciting and fun series for you all. That is the goal, obviously. And this team right now, not great. This team in a little bit, hopefully awesome. So hopefully you're on board for the ride. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.